President Biden gives his State of the Union address later on tonight. Immigration will be front and center, and DHS sources tell NewsNation that almost 190,000 migrant encounters were recorded last month alone at the southern border. That's more than 33,000 more than the same month just last year. A recent Gallup poll found immigration has become the leading focus for voters, the first time this issue has been at the top of the list since 2019, potentially setting up a big challenge for Biden in the 2024 presidential election. Let's bring in former Texas Governor Rick Perry, who was also the Secretary of Energy under former President Trump. Governor, it's good to see you and an honor to have you back. Let's start with just the numbers of that poll. 28% of respondents to that Gallup poll listed immigration as their #1 issue, pushing it to the top of the list. In your eyes, is there anything President Biden can say tonight in his State of the Union to prove he's taking action on the crisis?
Well, there are a lot of things he could probably say, but I don't expect him to. This issue is one that they have obfuscated on, they have dodged, they have weaved and bobbed, and I expect them to continue to do that. We can hope that this administration understands that the future of their political lives are inextricably intertwined to this issue of immigration. So, he could talk about undoing a lot of the executive orders that undid President Trump's executive orders that were working and putting it under control. Here's one of the things, Markie, that has got me stunned and baffled, though, is that yesterday we found out there were 350,000 immigrants that have been flown into the United States. We don't even know where they've gone. We don't know who they are. This is a, quote, secret program that the Biden administration is overseeing. And this is a head scratcher, but more importantly, this is really of serious nature, I think, to most Americans. And they want to know what in the world is going on here. He could start with addressing that tonight.
And I think a lot of Americans echo your sentiments that actions speak louder than words. There's a lot he can say tonight, but what's the follow-up going to be? We've watched this crisis unfold for years, sir. I mean, why do you think it now tops the list for voters 8 months ahead of the November election?
Yeah, we were dealing with this back as far in the past as 12 years ago with the Obama administration. And we thought it was a serious issue then. It is out of control now. And here's what I think Americans see. Not only do they see Americans being killed by these individuals who have come into this country illegally, they know that this is a war. This is a war with the cartels as they're bringing in fentanyl, as they're illegally bringing people into the United States. So I would suggest one of the things that the president could talk about doing is using our military. Because we're at war. I mean, the southern border is a war zone, and you need to go down there and take a look at that. Yeah. This is out of control. Texas is at the front, if you will, of a war with the drug cartels, and we need our military assisting us to stop this.
And as you know, just a week ago today, Biden traveled to Texas, your home state, visiting the border for only the second time during his presidency. While there, he put blame on Republicans in Congress for not working with him to pass immigration legislation. You and I talked about this bill not that long ago. Is it fair to say that there is blame on both sides?
Well, listen, the Biden administration never is going to take any blame. They're going to deflect it off. They're going to say it's the Republicans' fault. They got their friends in the mainstream media. They're going to stand up with them and say, yeah, it's the Republicans' fault. When the fact of the matter is, this president can take unilateral decision making. He can take unilateral action with executive orders that would put this, I think basically stop it. He could use the United States military. He could use a lot of different ways to literally stop this. He could leverage with Mexico, the stay in Mexico policies. He's not willing to do that. I think this happens to do with the next election cycle. I'm a little bit a skeptic when it comes to, we can't do this. We've got to have Congress move. I don't believe that. I think this is a president who looks at this from a political lens, and the political lens is, if we can bring these people in, we can figure out some way to manipulate them to be able to vote and this country's in trouble if that is what comes to bear.
We'll see if in the next coming months there's some sort of supplemental aid package with border, provisions that are concessions that both sides agree on. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Governor Rick Perry, always good to see you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.